Hi, this is On Imagination with a Healing Garden. We're going to just zoom in for a moment on ethical business practices and also the curvature of the societal integration of what's going on. This is information that is based off of Dr. Graves' spiral dynamics, which is the preliminary work for the 12 ethical perspective stages of human growth and evolution. This information is not available anywhere else because people don't know about the 12 ethics. The 12 ethics have been embedded into our society for more than 2,000 years. It is the human condition. It is what we are. And once you understand the 12 ethical perspective stages, you can literally see all of society arching in this massive evolutionary arch that's been going on since the Dark Ages. Well, since the beginning of mankind. A great example of this is the Roman Empire is the second ethical perspective mindset. That is the second ethical era. The third is the Dark Ages. And the fourth is the Age of Enlightenment. And we have not evolved since. We are now evolving into the fifth ethical era, which is where the majority of people are shifting over to accountability, awareness of the ethics, and also, most importantly, CEO business owners. That's why we're seeing a massive uprise of suddenly everyone's going, oh my God, I have to own a business. Because at the fourth ethic, you learn self-government. And because you've learned the ethic of self-government, the first thing you say is, wow, no one can tell me what to do anymore. 100% of all human beings who reach the fourth ethic and learn the trial of the fourth ethic walk away going, I have to be a business owner now, which means we are going to see a massive uprise and skyrocket of the CEO, business owner, entrepreneur, and aspiring business owner take shape. That is literally where our culture is heading. After that, we're going to see the sixth ethic rise, which is where equal footing occurs. When equal footing occurs, and the majority of the people on the planet are going to be like, oh, equal footing is what rules. Suddenly the hierarchy is going to come down. Yes! When that happens, what we're going to see is all this human appraisal of who's got the biggest car, who's got the prettiest wife, who's got the most white or dark or black skin. It's going to go away. We're going to stop judging people by their gender. We're going to stop judging people by their race. We're going to stop judging people, period. Because that's what happens at the sixth ethic with equal footing. And as a result, we're going to instead look at ethical integrity. And that's all that's going to matter is ethical integrity. Only at the sixth ethic, you don't judge people for their ethical integrity. You are patient, loving, supporting, and kind. You give them whatever they need to help them nurture and growth because we're on equal footing. And the sixth ethic isn't any better than the third ethic, or the second ethic, or the fifth ethic, or the 10th ethic, because we're all the same. Welcome to the 12th ethics. This is what I refer to as human behavioral forecasting. It's societal forecasting. I'm the only one in the world who's got this. This is fucking fantastic. This is one of my favorite things to do, is human forecasting. We've been doing this for quite a while. This is the age of authenticity. And that's what's going on with the world today is we are seeing this shift going from the fourth ethical perspective into the fifth. Now, the fourth ethical perspective people are the ones who value and prioritize law and order above everything else, including the mental health of people. So fourth ethical perspectives, because they are in the trial of learning self-government, they do not trust that people are ethical. They do not trust humanity. So they resist the shift away from law and order, which causes them to cling even more so tightly onto the concept of law and order, which is their challenge, is to let it go and trust the universe. But in order to do that, they need the first, second, and third ethic. So as a result, they are clinging desperately to this concept of of law and order and law enforcement, not realizing that ethical law supplants that on a much stronger, higher order, which comes from Mother Nature herself, which is what the fifth ethic is all about. However, the fifth ethic has a trial of learning that accountability. This means that they learned how to throw stones, and they're throwing stones all over the place, and they're going, wow, I could throw stones. Look at all the consequences I can make. And they're not yet aware that their choices can hurt other people. That is their ethical challenge. So once the fifth ethical perspective realizes that all the stones that they have thrown is causing all these ripple that's hurting people, they stop and they go, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. And then they enter into a stage of, well, kind of like repentance, kind of like transgression, where they feel great remorse and they try and overcompensate now for all the damage done. Mind your ripples. And as a result, they end up becoming martyrs. They end up self-sacrificing to make up for all the damage done at the fifth ethic and everything prior to that. But their challenge is to learn that equal footing, which actually means that they need to elevate themselves up to and equal to everybody else. This is where the mindset changes and we start prioritizing the planet, we start prioritizing the climate, we start prioritizing global and ethical growth. This is where we start valuing humanity. And that's where at the seventh ethic, we step in and we drop that hierarchy. Everyone's on equal footing and we nurture each other. We nurture society. We nurture the planet. It's absolutely a beautiful thing. So that is one of the things that we are seeing. In addition, these 12 ethics are also embedded into our generations. The silent generation is the second ethic. The baby boomers are the fourth ethic. The Gen Xers are the fifth and the fourth ethic. Sometimes they ling over to the sixth ethic. In my case, that's what I did. And then you have the millennials who are the fifth and the sixth ethic. Zoomers are being born at the sixth ethic. And the alpha generation is going to be born at the sixth and the seventh ethic. We are evolving. This is the ethical lineup of how human evolution works. It's really cool. Now, here's the problem. Every bit of data in the world right now does not include this information. 100% of all statistical data right now is 65% correct, at least. Like, it doesn't have this information. So as a result, every little piece of data you have in your business is now inaccurate because you are not accounting for the 12 ethical perspectives challenges, the 12 ethical stages, the personalities and the buying and the mindset of each and every one of these challenges, or the fifth and the sixth ethic that are to come very shortly. And I do mean like at least in the next 20 years, definitely in the next 20 years. I'm thinking more like 5 to 10 years, especially as the awareness of these 12 ethics rise up. We're going to go, oh my God, the spiral dynamics are everywhere. And we're going to go, oh my God, yes, you have no idea. And suddenly that priority of all the ethics are going to be embedded into our culture on such a scale that everyone's going to go, whoa, what ethic are you? Really, it's none of your business what ethic is everybody else's. You really just need to mind your own ethic. Everybody has their own challenge to get through. Everybody has their own agenda that they need to deal with. Everyone has their own attention that they need to put into their own trial. This is the pilgrimage. This is the learning journey of the discovered self, and it is exactly how a subconscious mind works. Now, when you have 12 different personality types all bouncing off of each other, it's literally like a bunch of marbles in a video game where they're all bouncing off of each other, and it's quite predictable, and you can see precisely where everybody is and how everybody moves, which is why I forecast society the way I do, because it's really awesome. It's like the weather. For me, it's like the weather. Like, whoa, we're getting a storm moving in from the fourth perspectives over here, and the second ethics are sitting there. It's really amazing to watch. So the point is the more you learn about the 12 ethics, the more you see how they are absolutely integrated into our subconscious minds, into our mental health, into our behavior, our family, our rituals. Everything we do is revolved around the 12 ethics. The 12 ethics, the ethic, any ethic, is a block of perspective time. Literally, time itself is the perspective. And when you are in one of the perspectives, you are in that block of visible comprehension. When you shift into the next perspective, you are entering into something that looks like a different room entirely. So you can see the perspective next to you. You can see the perspective over here, but to see the perspectives that are over there is going to be a lot harder for you. Now, here's the problem. Every one of these perspectives has their own language. Everyone. So there is the English language, and the French language and the Spanish language and the German language and all the languages. I'm going to use English as an example because that's the one I speak. So you have the English language. That's like the, what is, I don't know computers. I need help. Just give me a second. Dan, what is that called? An operating system? What's the other thing aside from an operating system? I have no idea what I'm referring to. The 12 ethical perspectives is basically your operating system, but your type of computer is going to determine your overall language. Oh, your programming code. That's what I'm trying to say. So you might be speaking, for example, Java, but that doesn't mean you're going to be speaking all the other languages. It doesn't mean your OS is going to be hooked up. So what you need is the internet. What you need is a Wi-Fi that brings all of these systems together. So you might have something that's running off of Linux. You might have, that would be like the second ethical perspective. And then you might have something over there that's running off of a Mac system, which, you know, so you've got, yeah, there you go. So you've got the Apple system over here. You've got the Windows system. Now, their materials completely, mostly incompatible. They might be able to communicate with each other a little bit, because they run off of different logical code. This is exactly how the ethical perspectives run. But once you put together the Wi-Fi system, that is literally where all of you can communicate on the same page. So what ends up happening is you have to translate from where you are into common language into their perspective. So you have perspective, common language, perspective. But we don't know this. Well, none of us know this, which is why there's a massive miscommunication happening, which is why you can't talk to your kid, which is why you can't be understood by your wife, which is why your boss is yelling at you and you're going, I don't know what's wrong with you. It's why kids these days are saying some weird shit that you just don't understand again. This is why. It's because you're a fourth perspective going, what the hell are the kids saying? And the kids are six perspectives. And they're off saving the universe from everybody in their save the world, save the planet mission. And the fourth perspectives are going, I don't understand. We got jobs when I was a kid. Well, there's your fourth ethic and your sixth ethic, and they're clashing. This is human psychology. This is really awesome. So when you start to educate yourself and you start to understand how we all are linked into these 12 ethics and how each and every one of us is at an each and every different stage of our own ethic, that we have to progress through these ethics in the right order, and we are. And if you don't, you get kind of, you fall off the wagon. I think that's the right term. And then, see, I don't speak fourth perspective very well. I don't speak fourth perspective at all, because that's not where I grew up. I grew up outside of the system, and I had to learn the common language. So I don't know half of the terminology that's used, because even though we're all speaking English, that doesn't mean we're going to understand each other. So I had to create my own language called abstractic, just so I could understand this stuff. And then I had to use physics and logic and math to translate it into my own understanding. And that I can translate to other people. And then from there, I translated it all into fourth ethical perspective language. But I'm still learning fourth ethical perspective because there's a comprehension gap. So when you get into this point where you're learning and you fall out of your perspective, or your learning gets derailed, you end up stuck at a perspective. Well, your ethics are growing, but you're not learning the lesson. That is where mental illness starts to come in. That's where we start to see all of the mental illnesses from literally the first, second, third ethic absent from our systems. So all I do is teach the 12 ethics and how they absolutely influence our society, our culture, our behavior, our personality types, everything. I'm going to say again, this is Dr. Gray's spiral dynamics from the 1970s, only he scratched the surface and went, look what I found. And these are like, it's a lot. It's like the iceberg underneath that is spiral. So spiral dynamics is this, the 12 ethics is under here. So this is what this is. It is really, really intensive stuff. It is insane. But once you start to learn the 12 ethics, once you start to follow them, it aligns you to your pilgrimage, your learning life journey, and it really propels you forward. And it is an extraordinary change in your life. It really simplifies a lot. It clarifies so much. But understanding the forecasting, understanding the trajectory of where society is going, understanding that we are in a societal shift right now, that fourth ethical societal shift is occurring into the fifth, and then we're going to go right from the fifth into the sixth. I'm going to tell you that right now. We're going to see that so fast that we're all going to get whiplash, and we're going to be like, whoa, what just happened? And this is the best part. The electromagnetic field is changing because of this. That's absolutely a result. Yeah, because the frequencies, every perspective has its own frequency. So as people become more and more aware of this, it's actually having an effect on the electromagnetic field, because it's all energy and we're all physics. It's really awesome. Physics is in our brains. We can feel physics. And at the sixth ethical perspective, you really feel physics. And physics hurts if you are an out of phase signal. So a lot of what you need to learn is how to stop being out of phase signal. It's called resistance. Mother Nature does not like resistance. So you need the 10th ethic, which is emotional fluidity. So your emotional energy flows through you because emotions are logical and always right. Society is not compatible with Mother Nature, your subconscious mind, or the 12 ethics. Society is not compatible with Mother Nature, your subconscious mind, or the 12 ethics. So as a result, The people who are really, really tuned into Mother Nature, the 12 ethics, and their subconscious mind is really having a lot of out-of-phase signals and a lot of resistance against society that's going, you come to the dark side. And we're going, no, we got to go back to Mother Nature. And then there's this fight, 6 ethics. 6 ethics love Mother Nature. They can feel it. And they're like, I got to go back to Mother Nature. That's your 6 ethics. Meanwhile, over here, the 4th ethics are going, no, we need law and order because without it, no one is ethical. That's not true. 4th perspectives. Ethics come from Mother Nature. So the more we learn, the more we gravitate toward Mother Nature, the more we absolutely dedicate and turn ourselves over to logic, love, and ethics. We have to because Mother Nature says so. And she punishes us with physics if we doubt. It's really painful. Out-of-phase signals hurts. It's called cognitive dissonance. And this is how you resolve cognitive dissonance is with the 10th ethic, which is emotional fluidity. 11th ethic is my favorite. It's logic. Thank you so much. And may the kindest of words always find you.